everyone, and welcome to another speaker for the Overcoming Self-Sabotage Summit. And what we're doing here is really helping you to understand what it means to have self-sabotage and what has it done, how to recognize what self-sabotaging is, and what you can do about it. So our next speaker here is Michelle Finnegan Nixon, and she's calling in from beautiful, sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. So welcome to the summit, Michelle. We're all excited to hear about what you have to say on self-sabotage.
Thank you for having me, and thanks to Nicole Borghi and you, and I'm not sure who else that put this wonderful summit together. It's a real pleasure to be here, and it's a great topic. It's a topic that is a must answer topic if you're going to be an entrepreneur or business owner. So
well, you know, I think it even, regardless whether you're in business or not in business, that self-sabotage just kind of really keeps us held kind of back, yes, you know, from really being all that we can be. I mean, even if it's just your stay-at-home mom, which is like the
personal development for sure,
the hardest job in the world, right? And you still need to work with not beating yourself up, because that's part of that self-sabotaging, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So share with the audience maybe a little story about Michelle and where self-sabotage kind of slapped her and smashed her, and now where you've turned the tables and became a sabotage smasher.
Oh boy, there's a lot of stories of that. It has to do with, you know, you want to know that you're good enough. You want to know that you belong, you know, like the song right from that show, what was it, Cheers? You know, you want to go where everybody knows your name and they're happy you're there and all of that. And, you know, depending on the mindset you have, depending on who you were raised with or who you aligned yourself with, you're either going to have the mindset of abundance or you're going to have the mindset of competition. And in the field and the career that I wanted to go into, which was clearly show business, I'm an actor, singer, performer, the competition is very steep. You have to go in an audition and you get there and everybody looks like you.
What? Okay, I can relate to that.
And then you got to be the one who has, you know, the best, you know, screen. You can, you know, read the script and come across as the character and hope that you get picked. Right. And so there's a lot of challenges with that. But I've always been a little bit of a fighter. And I'll tell you a juicy story. I know some of the people on this call are entrepreneurs and they're focused on business. And I think one of the topics was imposter syndrome. But I'll give you a story of the fight to succeed. So I'm at the LA Coliseum and we're doing the movie The Last Boy Scout. And there are thousands of people in the arena. And there was a comedian, and his name was, he was doing the show, I think it was called Cooper, Coach Cooper. And during the intermission, while they're getting ready to shoot the film, I think it was like Bruce Willis and, oh gosh, the guy from Living Color, Damon or whatever his name is, I'm blanking out right now. That was the movie. So during the intermission, while they're getting ready to set the stage, they asked different people to come up to the Coliseum and perform. So here I'm a singer, I get up there and I sing, and nobody told me that there's an echo in the stadium. So as I'm singing Phantom of the Opera, by the way.
Oh no. Well, I guess that's kind of apropos though.
I think I was singing Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again. And, you know, as I start this classical, and the Phantom of the Opera was really popular at the time. You got to remember, it was in the 90s and it was really popular. And, you know, and the Los Angeles cast was even more popular. So I started singing the song And when I'm on my second verse, I hear the first verse come around while I'm singing the second verse.
Oh,
like,
no.
Nobody told me that there was an echo. Now I understood why performers wear the headsets and all that. And I had to stay focused because I had to ignore my voice going around, right? So I can just imagine what luckily they had no cameras close up to me, but I was doing this song. I finished the song and I got booed.
Oh, whoa.
What? I'm a classically trained opera singer. I have this great voice, and I got booed. And I was like, oh, that was when I first learned, you got to have the right song for the right audience.
Uh-huh.
I died 1,000 deaths. And I was not going to leave that arena, with my dreams crushed. I wanted to be a singer, and I didn't want to fail. So that was really crushed, right? So
Right.
I decided to put a disguise on and get back up there and sing a different song. And that's what I did. I put a baseball cap on, I put my hair in a ponytail, I got in line and hoped that they wouldn't recognize me. Got right up there and I sang a Linda Ronstadt song. Got everybody rocking and I got applause. So that was my, oh no, you don't. You're not taking my dream away. I'm not going to let you smash it,
There you go.
I was not going to, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know about how the acoustics work. I didn't know that you have to pick songs that the audience is going to love. And, it's just know thy audience, know thy space, simple things like that. But just knowing that I was able to have enough courage to say, it happened. I'm not going to go cry. I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to get right back up there and swing the bat again,
Right.
And that's what I did. So that's a story of where in the past I could have easily sabotaged myself. I could have went home.
Oh, gosh.
I could have just went home, and then I'd be here. We'd be crying today over that memory. But when you believe in yourself, you fight for yourself. Right. And that's what I did. And now here's the challenge. I could have been booed again.
Yes, you could have. Boy, strike one,
what
strike
are you
two.
Doing? Audience clearly doesn't like you. What are you doing? What they say, the good angel, bad angel? What's going? What are you guys doing? Stop.
Well, that is so true. But, it's that endurance that you have for yourself and that passion, because it was such a passion, right?
No, but it's worse than that. It gets better. The song I chose from Linda Ronstadt is kind of like, I was so naive that, I'm thinking, oh, maybe they just liked it, right? But the song, this is the title of the song, which makes it even more funnier, right? The song is You're No Good.
Oh, no.
It was that feeling better, now we're through, that whole song. But it was a rock and roll song. Everybody loved it because I used to do Linda Ronstadt impressions. And, but the irony of that was, you're no good, so what? You got to test, track, and tweak, right? That's what we tell people. You got to put yourself out there. And they call it living on the edge. Have you ever heard that? You got to live on the edge and put yourself out there. And I did. And, but I usually don't tell people the title of the song that I sang because, you already get booed.
And then you sing a song
saying, and then you sing a song, You're No Good. Then everybody goes, yeah.
whatever it takes
to get for punishment, Yeah, take that. You thought that was bad. Wait till you see this. But here's the funny thing is I am sharing the title of the song with this audience because it's important that you don't let people smash your dreams. You don't. Right. And you got to laugh at yourself. Here I am laughing about it, laughing quite loudly. I mean, did the guy, I mean, look at my face. I don't know if it's a face that's memorable. You know, I thought that I could actually put a disguise on and go back up there. Maybe he thought, oh Lord, here she goes again. You know, I don't know, but doesn't matter. I did it. And
you did it, and you came out on the, you know, on
so
the
that's
top
my
end.
story of complete humiliation. Now we're talking thousands of people. I can say that I actually sang at the LA Coliseum.
There you go.
I can actually say that. And so that's one of those things that people don't know. But anyways, back to you, Tim. No, back to you, Beverly.
Well, you know, there's a lot of lessons.
I'm going to go now because now I feel smashed and defeated.
Oh, yeah, right. Not a chance. But the thing is, you know, the other lessons that come out of that, it's thinking in the spirit of the moment, because like you said, you didn't want to lose your dream, and you weren't going to let one little performance say you weren't good enough, right? So you're going to put yourself out. You got resourceful, which is something really, really good. And we're, you know, still kind of in the midst of a pandemic where a lot of people are really smashing themselves, or ones maybe that hadn't been smashing themselves are turning on themselves, or they're turning on others. There's just so many crazy things that are happening. Right. You know, so it's really getting back and being resourceful, getting creative, and saying, I'm not going to be defeated no matter how many times I get knocked down, right? And so it's that overcoming embarrassment, overcoming fears,
shame, humiliation.
Shame, exactly. And you know, the crazy part, Michelle, and I hope you can agree with me on this, is like,
I'm laughing at all the times I have humiliated myself.
Well, this is the whole thing. We do it to ourselves, and then we perceive that everyone else is thinking the same thing, when really, in essence, it only matters what we're thinking about ourselves. So when it comes to that imposter syndrome or the self-sabotaging, it's to begin to recognize where we're finding fault with ourselves, and we should really start finding our assets and start capitalizing on those assets, right?
Well, yeah, but I think what I wanted to really convey is that I learned how to own it early. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have the Own It method. It's a book that I'm coming out with. I've been using Own It with my clients for years because it's an implementation, operational work order system. Okay. And it's a philosophy. It's a mindset. You got to own it. You got to make it happen. And you got to put yourself out there. And, you know, in show business, good attention, bad attention, as long as it's attention. Yeah. That's how you're going to be seen and heard. And, you know, in business, you want to be, you know, have a better reputation. You know, you don't want to just like bomb, you know, in business, but you don't also want to be paralyzed in fear that you don't get started. There's a time where you just got to go for it. And so it's really owning it. And the other book that I'm writing and working on is called Inspired to Perform, because that covers everything in my history, because Bill Walsh talks about legacy. And Inspired to Perform is, you know, how I approached, you know, acting and business and serving others. I'm inspired, you know, I'm not motivated. I'm inspired. I stay inspired so that when the critics come up, either in my head or real critics, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter, because I'm inspired. I know that my spirit is willing to do whatever it takes to make something happen for the greater good. And so that's kind of how I've lived my life when I'm scared or I have the sabotaging thoughts. That's how I smash it. It's like, you got to own it. Just own it. Work harder, own it, and be inspired. So
that's great information. It really is, because it's so easy to get caught up in the mess of it when you feel depleted. And you know, it's crazy. You might be, like you said, in front of this audience of these 1,000 people, and you may have had all kinds of cheers, but the first person that responded might have started the boo, and so then everybody follows in, right? So it's like, be inspired internally versus externally, right?
It's it's really true, because let me just say something. That's a good point you raised. My mind may have allowed myself to think that the boos outweighed the cheers,
Right.
because I've had standing ovations for the same song. And I remember when I was singing I was in front of about 300 people, I was looking at everyone's face, and they were all so serious. And my mind, while I was singing, this is the same song. While I'm singing the song, I'm going, they're bored. They're so serious. They
Right.
hate me. Why are they looking at me that way? And when I got done with the song, they all jumped to their feet, applause, applause, applause. This guy came over. He said, "You're not going to believe this, but I have tickets from Phantom of the Opera. Why are you working here? You need to be on that stage singing these songs." And so I went to my boyfriend, and at the time, he's now my husband. I said, "I thought they were bored." And he said, "They were in shock. They didn't expect that from you." He says, "I didn't even know you could do that." And so the way the mind works, yeah, there may have been a few people in that Coliseum that thought, "Wow, this girl's really great."
Right.
But my mindset was, you're not good enough,
Right.
And the irony of that is I was working with Florence Riggs, who is the voice teacher for many, like Stevie Wonder's wife, and the girl who was actually doing this show, Phantom of the Opera. She was working with her. And so I was in great company, and yet the low self-esteem, the insecurity, that beats your head up.
That little sabotage voice that was
That
going
sabotage, yeah. And
Right,
so
right.
to your point, I've used humor to kind of say, yeah, I probably attacked that the wrong way, and I had to learn from that lesson. But you're right. You can take a scene, movie of your mind. We call it the movie of your mind, right? And you can look at the picture, any way you want. You can look at the positives and go, yeah, there was 5,000, 10,000 people there, and 200 people didn't like it. But what about the thousands that did?
Right. And again,
why did I only hear the boo?
Yes. And that's your perception. I think kind of sometimes we really go out with that already in the forefront, right?
Correct.
And really nobody else's perception means anything except your own.
Correct.
Right. And so that recognition.
But you do become invincible when you put yourself out there at some point. You own it. And let me talk to you a little bit about the own it method, just because I want to make sure that if anybody's out there, that's trying to start, launch, or grow a business to even greater success, that's what we teach at Power Team International, that they actually have a tool that they can rely on that will help them focus so that they don't end up in that sabotage. It's real simple. And all it is it's an implementation strategy, basically. So I wrote it out here just to make it really simple. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So O is your outcome. W is your why. N is your next step. I is inspiration. And T stands for your time, test, track, and tweak. So I'm going to just do that. You can write this out. But it's about, when you're talking about owning it, I knew I had an outcome. Okay. When I hit that stage, I knew that I wanted to see if I could do it. That was the biggest hurdle for me. It wasn't about, hoping that a casting agent sees me. It wasn't about, any of that. It was, I have an opportunity to hit a stage at the Los Angeles Coliseum. I'm going to be there in the middle of that stage looking out at thousands of people. Can I do it? Do I have enough courage to get up there and do this? This is way before American Idol and all that, right? And so that was the outcome. The greater outcome was, can I achieve it? And the result, why do I want this so badly? Because I didn't know if I was going to shiver and shake and, die a horrible death, or, you know, and the other why was, well, why not? It's an opportunity to show people that you came here with that, you know, I'm a show off, right? So I could get out there and show them, hey, look what I can do. So the why for me was really important because it really demonstrated if I could succeed, if I could actually get there. So that was why I did it. So that my outcome was good. I might, who knows, may get discovered. But more importantly, I can say forever that I sang at the LA Coliseum. I don't have to tell anybody what happened. I don't have to tell people that I got booed or that I went up a second time. But the next step, N is the next step. So a lot of times people, they aren't focused and they don't know what their next step should be in any given project that they do. And it's really important that you are focusing on the right step, the right next step, so you're not wasting time. So if, let's say you want to build your website, so your outcome is your website. Why do you want to build your website? Well, because I want to have an online presence, let's say, okay? But you know that a website in of itself is not necessarily going to bring you business. But you know that the outcome is you want to have a website presence. So probably the why to do that is important. But what is your next step? Who are you going to hire? Are you going to do it yourself? Are you going to hire someone? So that's why that own it becomes important. And inspiration, the inspiration aspect of any project that you're doing is really the blueprint. You know, if, for example, when I was building websites for people, I would say, give me 5 websites that you love, because it's just like a dress. You know, what dress you like a dress, let's go get the dress pattern. So it's what inspires you, right, as a model. And inspiration also is your mentors. You know, who can you turn to that's going to give you the right inspiration so that you're creating the right outcome that you really seek? Again, it goes back to own it. And then your T, which is really important, you know, you gotta attach a time to when you want to achieve this thing. You're going to test, track, and tweak, course correct, all of that, right? That's the own it method. It's a very simple way of looking at a project, but it does help people get very focused. And so I wanted to share that with you as a super tip. And of course, people can learn more about, you know, how to use the own it method for implementation in their business to stay focused. So I owned it, and I went on that stage and I achieved exactly what I wanted. And I learned how to test, track, and tweak it for next time. I learned that I had to choose the right song. I learned that I had to, you know, make sure that I was engaging with the audience, right, the way they want to be engaged. So I'm going to stop there for just a moment for the own it method. So what do you think about the own it method?
I think it's great. I think it's really critical, you know, like what you were saying, you know, all those little pieces are part of the whole pie, you know, right. And so to be able to recognize all those parts, because in the end, you have to be accountable for yourself, right? It's your choice, you know, whether you're making that choice because you think it's what other people want you to do, or if you're making that choice because that's what you want to do. And hopefully that's the second, right? Because you got to please yourself. It's like that song. We talk about songs, you know, you can't please everyone. So you got to please yourself.
Well, it goes back to mindset. So, you know, so I'm going to just transition here a little bit. I ended up working with, I helped build a continuity program membership portal for a guy named Scott Lopez. He was a mindset coach, you know, he was a mental toughness coach, which is, it's kind of ironic because God has always put people in my life to teach me what I need to know, right? We talk about that. There's people that are in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And I still needed that mental toughness, and he taught it. And I remember one day I had gotten a testimonial from this gentleman named Brian. And I went to Scott and I said, hey, Brian, you know, he gave you a great testimony. And he goes, oh, yeah, that guy loves me. Everybody loves me. I went, what? Because what? Everybody loves you? It was his attitude, you know? And so I decided to create an affirmation called Everybody Loves Me. Now, a lot of people, when I tell them that, they go, well, I don't care what anybody thinks. okay, that's fine. But there are a lot of people who do care about what people think.
Right.
And I wanted to get like Scott. Scott knew, he was a U.S. Air Force fighter pilot. He knew when he walked in the room, people wanted to follow him. They liked him a lot. And so we definitely decided that maybe I should put on a little bit of his mindset. And that's why we created that affirmation. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. Because I needed to feel confident. And so that worked. I actually created an Everybody Loves Me challenge. I created a song because I recognized, as most of us recognize, that we are programmed every day through music, through affirmations, through other people telling us all kinds of, negative things. I think Bernie Dorman, God rest his soul, actually talked about how many images and how many messages are hitting our brain.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
like 60,000 a day or something crazy like that.
Oh, it's crazy. And so I started with the yes, I can, 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 yes, I can. You just do as much as you can. You get inspired. And the other one is everybody loves me, everybody loves me, everybody loves me. And it was really funny. The first time I went to a Lisa Nichols event. It was a $10,000 ticket. I was going to work the event, and for 2 hours straight, I did everybody loves me, everybody loves me, everybody loves me, because I knew I was going to enter an event world, and I was by myself, no friends with me, and I needed to feel secure and confident. And I went to this event, and I'll never forget. After doing 2 hours of everybody loves me, everybody loves me, everybody loves me. I know I sound like a net, but I was doing this, everybody loves me. I went in, I met this woman, and she goes, "You've got great energy.
Okay.
There's something about you. It's just, you've got to, what's your phone?" I met everybody there. It was amazing. And it taught me something, that what Scott was, when he was that mental toughness, that everybody loves me thought process helped me enter the room peaceful, calm, centered, focused. And I was able to be fully present with people, and they loved that energy. Instead of coming in neurotic, all over the place, hiding in the bathroom, I'm not coming out.
Right, exactly.
I ended up smashing that negative self-talk with the more powerful everybody loves me. It kind of like erase all that other stuff. So I want to share that too, if that's okay.
There's so much, Michelle, we could continue sharing, and everything that you have shared here today is really going to help someone think a little bit differently about how maybe that they perform, or maybe even get them excited about getting into a business or doing something that they were maybe hesitant to, out of maybe getting all the booze instead of the,
well, it's really true. But I do work for Power Team International.
Tell us a little bit about Power Team International.
I want to go through that. I want to make sure that we cover that. So in business, you have mindset. Obviously, success is an inside job.
Yes.
So who you surround yourself with is critical. And so I ended up going from manufacturing and learning business. I went to University of Phoenix for business, and I found my way into Power Team International with Bill Walsh. Now, Bill Walsh was recently ranked number 20 in the world of business gurus. That's not something you buy into. You get voted in. People say he is the guy, and he's number 20. I think Tony Robbins is like number 23 or 24. So he's in good company. And so if you look behind me, there he is.
There he is. Yes, I know the gentleman very well. And he is. His whole demeanor is, you can learn so much just by observing.
Exactly. Yeah. And he says, you got to create so much value. They think you're crazy. And he wrote this book, this little book called The Obvious, because there was another book called The Secret.
Yes.
And The Secret's great because it definitely, what you think about, you bring about, right? But, I think Tony Robbins said, you can say there are no weeds in your garden and the weeds will take over your garden. I mean, there is a sense of, you can try to will things to happen through thoughts and, and all that. But at the end of the day, you got to roll up your sleeve and do the work. And so the book, The Obvious, was kind of like the answer to The Secret. And Bill has worked very hard in his life. When I say hard, I mean he's educated himself, he's invested in himself, he's worked with the best in the world. And when he put this book together, it really is how to have massive success. And one of the people who did the foreword, I'll just show you, is Les Brown. I don't know if you can see this.
Yes.
He talks about how people will have breakthroughs in their business just by doing the obvious. And when I first started listening to Bill on different stages, I noticed that sometimes he would speak and I would hear a little Zig Ziglar, I would hear a little Jim Rohn, or a little Stephen Covey, or a little Napoleon Hill. I'm like, man, this guy, he must have read all the books. He must have studied. Not only did he do that, but he also had the hands-on, turning businesses around and being a trader, venture capitalist, all that, investment guy. And so it was quite powerful. So this book, The Obvious, I started a book club called The Obvious. Everyone can get a free copy and be part of the book club. And some of the topics are, what is the obvious? Also, we have the law of focus, the law of planning. This is my pitch, by the way, it's free. The law of
that's right.
personal character and belief, success is an inside job, surrounding yourself with the right people. So there's I don't know if you can see this little thing.
Oh, lots of, yeah.
Yeah. So what it is, it's a networking group. It's a club. It's part of our successclub2020.com. People can sign up for free for that. And, but the obvious, what's really cool about that is we'll be watching some video of Bill speaking. If you've never heard Bill speak, Bill's great on the stage. You've seen him on free events and free Zooms and things. But if you've ever sat in a classroom with Bill and just, had him teach just content, it's life-changing. It's miraculous. I mean, he's really good at the free events and speaking, but in the classroom, it's like 10 times even better.
And that's one thing I've noticed. He's just he's just like one with you when he's in that sit down. Being on the stage, that's a different present. But when you're in that group setting in that room where he's actually doing the one-on-one teaching, he is so in with you. And everything that you're saying here with the obvious, it's like we all know we have that little voice in there, that self-sabotager, right? And the buyer's remorse, the put down, the little sabotager comes in so many forms and shapes, right? So it's paying attention. So it is obvious that little sabotager is so obvious when you begin to recognize it as being what's holding you back. And to be able to smash those thoughts. So it sounds like to me that this little book club that you put together is a way to help people to recognize
I didn't
that.
put it together. What's really nice about, I'm hosting the club, but I really want to emphasize that this is a network, a networking opportunity. It is, we're going to be watching some footage of some video clips of Bill. We're going to be reading some parts of the chapter. We're going to be discussing it. We are going to be, it's almost like a mini mastermind. It is a success club. We're going to be covering the obvious. And then at some point, if people are really into this, we'll have Bill speak. There's nothing better than doing a book club and having the author of the book be the one conducting the topic. And so if you're a public speaker, you're a keynote, for example, when we do the law of focus, right? We might want to have a specialist, that can say, hey, I teach focus training, so I would love to be, part of that discussion because I think I can help people. Well, we're all about that. But ultimately, if you love the obvious, if you enjoy the teachings of Bill Walsh, and if you want more, you can always be part of the Rainmaker Summit. You can go to rainmakersummit.com and you can, be officially in our club, in our community, and, be one of our Rainmakers. But if you're just looking just to kind of test and see if this is a good fit for you, the obvious, the book club doesn't cost anything. All you need to do is go timewithmichelle.com, and timewithmichelle.com, that's 2 L's, Michelle, timewithmichelle.com. What that'll do is that puts you on my calendar, and it gives you my phone number. And if you want to be part of this inner circle of the book club, The Obvious, let me know, and I will tell you what time and dates and when we're doing it. And then it can actually help you with any imposter syndrome you might be having, or self-sabotage, because again, Power Team International is all about start, launch, and growing your business. We want you to be the top 10 expert in your field so that you can monetize at the highest level. We want people, when they're thinking about something, they think of you first, so that's what we want to do. So anyways, I'm gonna throw it back to you. But yeah, the book club, The Obvious, is free. And it's going to be able to, in addition to working with Nicole Borghi and with Beverly, this would be a nice complement. In fact, I'm hoping that to have Beverly and Nicole on every obvious topic, because that would just be fun.
Well, it's the obvious. There's so many things that are so obvious that we take them for second nature. We just kind of put them aside and not really focus on them. So really becoming obvious of what is going on around you in your surroundings, and beginning to recognize those obvious thoughts that keep repeating, because if they're repeating the old program, it's time to change and shift the new program. So Michelle, this has been very educational. Thank you so much for sharing some of your self-sabotaging events.
And there's so many. I just picked the safe ones.
Well, next time we're going to go into the others.
Want to learn more?
Stay tuned for round 2. Michelle, thank you again so much for being a part of this Self-Sabotage Summit and teaching others how to become a self-sabotage what? Smasher!
Smasher. You smash it with some affirmation. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Everybody loves me. And one more thing, you are a champion. You are. You can do this. You can.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's onward and upward to smashing sabotage. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for having me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.